What's good, guys? It's Genie once again, another week, and we're back once again for another video in which, just like last week, we're going to be talking about another character within another video game. And coincidentally, once again, this is going to be my favorite video game character within this specific game. But instead of attacking an entire genre of games like we did last week, this week we are going to be talking about, like again, just one specific game, my favorite character within this game. And for that game, we will be traveling to the lands between, as we will talk about a character who is such a threat to those proclaimed as a threat around them that they could possibly hold the title of strongest themselves if you really want to get into it. So before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture.
Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. General Radahn is cursed ever to wander. Eaten from the inside by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. Howling at the sky.
Yes, today we will be talking about the Earth's mightiest demigod, General Radahn, most commonly known as Star Scourge Radahn. Located in the Redmane Castle in Caelid, Radahn is the child of Radahn and Rennala, as well as the sibling of Rykard and Ranni. However, before we dive into the lore and some of the lore in which what makes Radahn one of my favorite characters, I think it's better that we just go into it in layers. So why not start off with the design, right? Let's get the basic out the way, the most obvious one out the way. Let's go into design-wise, why I like Radahn. Overall speaking, I think that Elden Ring does an incredible job, which, by the way, anyone who didn't know at that point, even though I said Radahn and whatnot, and the lands between, but yeah, we're talking about Elden Ring, of course. But yeah, and like I say again, generally speaking, overall, Elden Ring has done an incredible job at having some incredible looking bosses, okay? Apart from Radahn himself, we also have Melania, we have Godfrey, and we have Radahn. Okay, some incredibly beautifully well-designed characters. For someone who is known as the Earth's mightiest demigod, Radahn definitely does an incredible job at looking the part, especially for his golden armor, with the golden armor being encrusted with a sort of lion-esque symbols going on, or lion-esque sort of features going on. The armor is actually supposed to show his liking towards the Elden Lord Godfrey, which actually makes a lot of sense because in Radahn's earlier years, Radahn actually tried to train himself like Godfrey, essentially bettering his combat skills because of the fact that he admired Godfrey that much. As well as the red mane and the red from the inside of his cape, it sort of all brings the outfit all together, which once again sort of makes sense. I know, lions don't actually have red manes, but with the golden armor, the red mane, it does look very much lion-esque, and the overall look once again works together. Like, it really does bring about the whole look of looking mighty and whatnot, which makes sense for a character like Radahn that we're talking about. Because I mean, really and truly, if you were someone who knew nothing about Radahn, like, the first word you're probably thinking about is like mighty, and someone who's like a true warrior, a hero of some sort, right? Someone who very well, just by the way that they look, has accomplished quite a lot, without a doubt, in my opinion. And I do want to just preface this. This is my opinion, I know what the internet can be like, which is why I'm prefacing that. Radahn, without a doubt, in my opinion, has the best design within the Elden Ring, especially when we're speaking about the bosses. Like I say again, he really does just speak volumes with being this mighty sort of hero, majestic, like again, someone who seems as though they've accomplished a lot. And even the subtle things within his armor, like I mentioned before, with the fact that his armor has taken inspiration for his liking towards Godfrey, also just speaks volumes, because it clearly just shows that the devs really are focused on making the small attentions to detail, okay? They really are making sure that to those who notice it, they understand it, making everything sort of just fit in the right place. Now it's time we talk about the boss fight, okay? Now, in regards to Radahn's boss fight, not only is Radahn my favorite character, but apart from that, Radahn not only being an optional character, but to my knowledge, and I want to preface this is to my knowledge, okay? I did some research, not a lot of research, but I did some. I can't guarantee it, you know, so someone, you know, if I am wrong, that's okay. Lower the pitchforks, okay? But to my knowledge, Radahn is the only boss in the base game to be nerfed twice. Once again, I could be wrong, but if I'm not, you know, if I'm not, that's insane. If I am, lower the pitchforks. But once again, talking more about the fight itself and the attention to detail that the devs have gone to really just sort of make everything sort of make sense and have everything have a genuine reason as to why it's happening. I think with all things considered, what the devs have done to make the fight what it is just simply amazing. For example, anytime that Radahn does an AoE attack, he actually puts his horse Leonard into the ground, well, into the sand. But you get the point. He's putting him underground to protect him from the attack, which is so cool because to those who know, you know that Radahn loves Leonard, being the one steed that he stayed committed to pretty much all his life, even after growing great in size, to the point where Leonard quite literally can't even really carry him, but we'll get onto a bit more of that later. But yeah, like the fact that he's purposely hiding Leonard under the ground to protect him from the attack that he's about to do just shows his love and once again the attention to detail that the devs are going through for the game. Another one is that anytime Radahn does his arrow attacks, he's not actually shooting you with arrows. He's shooting you with the spears that Malenia's knights stabbed into the back of him during the Battle of Aeonia. And once again, this is just another attention to detail. You can literally see him in the animation. He's grabbing them from his back. Like say again, the fact that he is using the spears that were stabbed into him from the last battle he fought in order to aid him in defeating you is like insane. Like it's actually kind of crazy now that I say it out loud, even though I already have it written in the script anyway. But like again, saying out loud, it just makes it like that much like more insane. Like he's literally grabbing the spears that were stabbed into him from the fight he last had, and is now using those very spears to shoot at you. Then there's the fact that when Radahn goes into space to do his meteor attack, you can actually notice that once again he puts Leonard into the sand, because ironically, as Radahn comes crashing down, he isn't aiming for you, he's aiming for Leonard. Because this entire time, Leonard has been chasing you under the ground. So Radahn, maybe in space not even being able to see where you are, he knows where Leonard is and aimed right for where Leonard is, because once again, Leonard is under the ground. So Leonard isn't going to be affected by the attack, but then Leonard is just chasing you, so Radahn knows where to aim. It's another one that that one's just sort of cool, the fact that they did that, but another case of attention to detail. Like you literally see this animation, like even though you don't physically see Leonard chasing you under the ground, the fact that that's the reason as to why Radahn is able to figure out where you are is just like so cool and insane at the same time. And like I mentioned before, Leonard being under the ground keeps him safe from the attack. So it's like, even better, he's using the same techniques. Now, this one does have some lore implications, as, well, the other ones have, but those ones been more attention to detail. But during the boss fight, you notice that Radahn, of course, uses a lot of gravity magic. But the reason why Radahn actually learned gravity magic in the first place was because as Radahn was continuing to grow in size, Leonard was actually becoming incapable of carrying him because of the fact that, well, Radahn was so big that Leonard, stayed the same size. So it was one of those where like Leonard simply just couldn't bear his weight. So Radahn would go out and learn gravity magic just so that he could stay with Leonard. Hence, Radahn is technically just hovering above Leonard, preventing his weight from being put onto Leonard, essentially making himself weightless, so that Leonard doesn't have to bear any of Radahn's actual weight, which is once again just incredible because it shows not only Radahn's love for Leonard, but that he's willing to go out of his way to technically inconvenience himself just so that he can stay with Leonard up until the very end, because he really did love Leonard. All things considered, not only is this boss fight rather hectic and eventful, especially with all the summons that you can have when you're doing this boss fight, but as a man who's renowned as the Earth's mightiest demigod, the fight gives you more than enough of an explanation as to why he owns that title. But once I say again, the fact that everything within the boss fight, the attention to detail in the fight, as well as the lore implications, to make sure that everything in the fight makes sense, is I think the truest, the most beautiful part of it all. Like, everything actually has a reason as to why it's happening. Like we mentioned before, AoE attacks. He puts Leonard on the ground to prevent Leonard from actually taking any damage or being hurt from the attacks. The meteor attack, he's not aiming for you, he's aiming for Leonard. Leonard isn't chasing you under the ground the entire time. The fact that everything that Radahn does, even though he's quite literally lost his mind, the fact that everything that Radahn does makes sense, I think is without a doubt one of the most incredible things about the boss fight in general, right? And once again, just adds onto the layers as to why this guy is my favorite character within this game. Like, the devs putting in the time and effort to make sure that everything makes sense, even though Radahn's mind is gone to the Scarlet Rot, you can very much tell that his actions and movements are still very much intentional. He still very much knows what he's doing, and his skills are still very much on show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we get into the main course, as I think it's time we get into the lore of things, okay? What makes the man himself, okay? What makes Radahn Radahn? Like I mentioned way earlier, Radahn is the son of Radahn and Rennala, as well as being the siblings of Rykard and Ranni. And the funny thing about Rykard is that even though Rykard decided to turn against the Earth Tree, he remained to have a portrait of his younger brother Radahn in the Volcano Manor, just to show his admiration for his younger brother. Even though their lives were walking in two different paths, Rykard still had much love for his brother. Also, the fact that Radahn's Redmane army built a wall of fire around Caelid to prevent Malenia's Scarlet Rot from spreading to the lands between, his army remained good people and actual heroes. Even after their general has lost his mind, they still remain to be the good people that they'd hope Radahn could still be proud of. Which is why in some way they even hold the Radahn festival in general. They allow friends and foes, literal enemies of Radahn, to enter the festival, as they hope that a worthy opponent can finally put their general to rest, showing their love and loyalty for the general. Like, the fact that some of Radahn's own army men have legit tried to partake in it to take General Radahn down because they want to put their general's mind to rest, or body to rest, as he's already lost himself to the Scarlet Rot, really shows just how much loyalty, love, and respect they have for Radahn, even after he's gone. And like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the boss fight, as Radahn continued to grow in size, it simply became too difficult for Leonard to properly maneuver with Radahn on him. So Radahn went out of his way to learn gravitational magic in order to make sure that he could make himself pretty much weightless for Leonard, making it so that Leonard wouldn't have to bear any of Radahn's weight. And once again, it just shows the love and the admiration that Radahn has had for Leonard staying committed to him. But it doesn't even just stop there. See, Radahn learned to master gravitational forces and projectiles at will, even mastering the collapsing stars' gravitational forces, allowing him to challenge the stars themselves, and even held the stars captive over the castle or over his kingdom in order to protect his kingdom. And in doing so, it prevented any who wanted to even access Nokron from being able to access Nokron, because he held the stars in place. And it even prevented his own sister, Ranni, from being able to enact her plan, as doing so would actually cause peril and problems for Radahn's sacred land. Radahn would go on to lose his mind after fighting against Melania in the Battle of Aeonia. I mentioned it a bit earlier when we were talking about his boss fight, in which when it seemed like Radahn just started to have the upper hand in the fight, Melania would go on to release her Scarlet Bloom. You can actually see Melania use the Scarlet Bloom attack in the boss fight that you have against her. The issue is, when Melania did it, she was quite literally on Radahn's back. So when she used it, Radahn was essentially in direct contact with the attack. This would then force Radahn to start being consumed by the Scarlet Rot. It essentially ended up leaving the fight into a stalemate, because Radahn was now slowly being consumed by the Scarlet Rot, and Melania, basically this being her final attack, essentially weared her out. However, the thing is, some say that with his fight against Melania, he wasn't even at his full potential, as he was bearing the weight of the stars as well as bearing his own weight for Leonard's sake. Heck, the Star Scourge Radahn that you fight in the game isn't even at his full potential, because of the fact that, once again, he's bearing his own weight for Leonard's sake, he's bearing the weight of the stars, but then also he's lost his mind to the Scarlet Rot, with the Rot actually weakening his abilities. And look, even I want to keep the DLC separate. I don't want to really mention the DLC, but heck, some have even said that promised consort Radahn isn't even Radahn at his full potential. And heck, even after defeating Radahn, the cutscene that you get, as you can see, the stars start soaring across the sky, as you can see that they are no longer held captive. You can see just an ounce of the general's true strength, the weight he was holding all that time. So the fact that he's an optional boss, top 3 hardest bosses in the game, I could even say top 2 if we're really trying to get into that conversation, was not only nerfed twice, once again, lower the pitchforks if I'm wrong, but the version of him that you fight against isn't even him at his fullest potential. Yeah, I think I've built more than a good enough case as to why Radahn is without a doubt my favorite character within Elden Ring. Either way, I think this is a good point to start to wrap things up for this video, as we have looked into the design, the boss fight, and the lore into General Radahn, Star Scourge Radahn, and for me, once again, what makes him my favorite boss within Elden Ring. Truly the Earth's mightiest demigod, a force to be reckoned with, or more so a force not to be reckoned with. So let me know, who's your favorite and why? And in saying all that, ironically speaking, I still need to finish Elden Ring. Either way, this has been your boy Genie, and I will see you guys all next week. See ya.